'cause I'm crazy. I try not to act too proud. Only hit till you cry.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to start a press conference of Khimki Moscow region with an assessment from the coach.
Great game for us. Winning over here is not easy. I think Real Madrid lost the first game this year in all the competitions, so we need to be happy for one night, and we need to believe in our team. For us, it was the first win on the road after the game with Olympiacos, but we didn't play well. Today we were solid in both ends, defensively and offensively. And when we control a little bit the rhythm of the game without turning the ball over, because if I remember well, we have 11 turnovers in the first half. We managed to win the game, having a patience in offense and find the open man. As I said, we need to compromise. Do you want to translate?
No, it's simultaneous.
Okay. Everybody has to compromise that with this new format of EuroLeague, winning or losing is a part of the game. Last year, Fenerbahce won the title, having in the regular season a lot of losses. So I don't know how many years it's going to take that to the fans, to the organization of the clubs, to the journalists, but everybody has to compromise with the idea that winning or losing is a part of this difficult competition. And even if the local leagues, especially in Spain, which is so difficult, you can lose everywhere, having games every 2-3 days in this level. Anyway, we are happy. Right now we have 4 victories and 1 loss in EuroLeague, but we have a really difficult schedule playing with CSKA in our home court now on Monday for the local league. So congratulations to our players. Let's analyze what we did well and what we did wrong, and let's go on. Thank you.
Questions for the coach. As usual, please identify yourself and the company that you represent. Hello, Alex Madrid for Eurohopes. Last week, you've mentioned that the team was not ready to face a Final Four, to reach the Final Four. Do you think differently after this result tonight?
Differently, I have exactly the same opinion. First of all, we are a completely new team. We have 8 newcomers. All our front line, Thomas Robinson, Malcolm Thomas, Adon Gill, they don't have any experience for EuroLeague. So they need to learn. It's going to be a long way process. And, Khimki last year wasn't in the EuroLeague as a club. So we need to grow up during the season. We have to become a strong team through the difficult situations, from losses, winnings, and wins, and all the normal stuff in basketball. If you think now that, if we think that we need to achieve the Final Four, we are out of the reality. Right now we just need to think the next game. So I think we have a good team. I think we have potential, but we need to become a stronger team. We need to be more solid. We need to be more consistent from quarter to quarter and from game to game.
Una pregunta más.
Any further questions?
This year with the new team, comparing with last year Barcelona, and do you think you have better team now? And what are the ambitions of the team, of the performance?
Let's start from the last part of your question. The ambitions, wherever you are in sports, in professional sports, you need to win. You need to try to win in every game. Our approach has to be like this. Only the next practice and the next game. We cannot think with a different way because we're going to do a big-time mistake. Now, you cannot compare the situations in Barcelona last year and in Khimki last year, or in Olympiacos or in Lokomotiv in the past. I cannot compare. I respect any club that I worked, Barcelona also. I'm proud of this. The circumstances were completely completely difficult for me and for the club generally. Right now is a new page in my career, in my job. I'm focused to my team. I'm so happy working for Khimki, and as always, I will give everything of my mind and all my thoughts, working hard for the team until the end of the season. At the end of the season, we will see what we achieve.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you. You don't have to come with me today.
Yeah, it's okay.
Toes. You're the one girl, I suppose. Our clothes fall down like dominoes. Ooh, baby, can you keep me on my toes? You're the one girl, I suppose. Our clothes fall down like dominoes.
When I'm on the line, cause I ain't got no time to wait. I got a plane to catch and I hope it don't crash, cause I'm trying to see my holiday. And you're looking like you're all dressed up with no place to go. So if you don't mind, then baby, let's roll. Know a pretty place where the drinks are cold and the DJ keeps spinning on overload. So pack all your bags and tell all your friends they can come to my Mercedes Benz. No space left, they can call a cab and we can all meet up at the Wonder Lab. Tell the sucker at the door that y'all know me, and tonight y'all rolling with the VIP. And y'all already know that the drinks are free, cause I already said it's all drinks on me.
It's Friday night, life is like a freeway. Hey DJ, help me out, I put my song on replay. We can save the drama for the Mondays. Can't you see I'm busy feeling lovely? Ooh, baby, can you keep me on my toes? You're the one girl, I suppose. Our clothes fall down like dominoes. Ooh, baby, can you keep me on my toes? You're the one girl, I suppose. Our clothes fall down like dominoes. Dominoes, 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 dominoes. You're the one girl, I suppose. Our clothes fall down like dominoes.
I ain't got no time to wait. I got a plane to catch and a new shirt to match, and baby, I don't want to be late.
Bueno, buenas noches.
Good evening again. We continue with the assessment with Pablo Lasso. Good evening. First, congratulate Khimki Moscow region for the win. It was quite an equal match in many aspects where I believe we were not well. There were many mistakes that they punished during the match, and the fact of being always behind was difficult for us. It was difficult to link good moments, and when we achieved that, then we would go down again because of mistakes that we need to improve as a team if we want to compete at this level. And obviously, we want to give credit to the Khimki because they have a very good players, quite mobile, scoring a lot, and it was difficult to control them. To lose home at the EuroLeague, we know it's tough, but we know that this is quite a long regular season, and if you want to win, you're going to have to play quite well because the opponent are always quite strong as the Khimki zone, and they deserve to win, and we need to learn facing the future. Questions for Pablo, please? As usual, please identify yourself and the company that you represent. Hello, Pedro Martin for Deportes Madrid. How could you assess Taylor's defense on assess? I'm not that worried about individual defense because at the end of the day, it's a teamwork. He did the work he wanted, and he had 2 or 3 mistakes, but he did quite well in general with what we told him. Probably some of the best of the team today are more worried about the defensive situation and the general perspective with they damage in some of our rules that we have to be quite clear, and we made mistakes. If you just ask about Jeff, I think he was quite well. Hello, Pablo Emilio Breyo from Maceo Basket. There were a couple of moments in the second half that you were ahead, and then you had some strong partials. How do you assess that? Well, I believe we were not solid, especially in the attack, also in the defense, but in the offense, we lacked patience. There were lack of team play, not blocking, not continuing enough, not passing, only 5 assists on the break. They're a strong team. They're good on the one-on-one. We need to move them. And in very moments on the second time we did not. We were better running than stationary, and we didn't have good enough percentages as to win the match. This is a general reading. If Gustav didn't score that and Lucas scored a 3-pointer, maybe we will be talking about that we won a match that we need to learn because we need to improve a lot as a team to win this kind of matches. Any further questions? 2 questions over there. Carlos Sanchez from Onda Madrid. You were not quite a result based on your analysis, not for good or for bad. Now that you've lost the first official one after the Super Cup and there was an atmosphere quite optimistic, what's the message you want to give? Well, the same message I was given last week when we hadn't lost anything. That's not the way I am. They were talking quite good about the team, about all my players. They're saying they're quite wonderful, and I quite often mention that good words don't help to grow as a team because you may think that everything is done, and we're talking about the beginning of the season. There's a strong competition, strong schedule, tough one, and today is another match of the many we have ahead. So if we want to be competitive and we want to win matches that are big, we still need to improve as a team. But that's the same thing I was thinking last week when we hadn't lost anything. So in that sense, I'm calm because I know we have a lot of work ahead of us. No matter whether we win or lose, that's not going to change me. Of course, we're talking after losing, and of course, I'm not feeling well, and that's what I always said. I would have liked to win, but that's my reading as a player, and I would have liked to win. We couldn't, and what we need to assess, and we need to think what we need to do better so we can be solid and keep on winning. From Cadena Cope, did the team miss, from the outside, I don't know, maybe a bit of power of a spark. Well, could be. But there's a lot on the percentages of shots. If you see our percentages, we had 44% of two-pointers. Some before the basket. There were three-pointers as well. That was not that good. If we could have moved the ball better and find better shooting positions, maybe we had a bad percentage. There were 3 or 4 shots we had quite well, but we missed. But the team was playing quite well. That's what worries me. At this level, we play against teams that are very good on the physical point of view. They have very strong powers, very athletic. Also the guys from the outside, and we had to adapt to a different scenario where we probably could not impose our physical part. We're talking about power, energy, but we have enough tools so we can compete quite well as we did today, and we would have won. But to win, you need to play well, and we didn't have such a good match. Jorge Martinez, Bernabeu.com. I would like just to ask about Randolph. How do you see him during the match? In a bit more of 11 minutes is because of his physical condition, or your decision on how he finished? Physically, he finished quite well. We knew the risk was for him to have another trauma on the shoulder, but he said he was okay and he wanted to play. And I've noticed a normal thing in a player that is back after nearly 2 or 3 weeks has stopped, a bit anxious, trying to do even more things. Sometimes lost on defense or the defense, but with a good attitude. No problem with Anton in that sense. But we knew it was a difficult match for him after his injury. So, normal stuff. Quite often the problems are not the injured ones, the ones that come back. Although that may sound strange. Okay, good, thank you.